Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa. I am the Max Few Trades, and I'm running out of time, man. I've been playing this game for so dang long, and I finally decided to give myself a deadline, and wouldn't you know it, I am seriously running low on some of that. So, I gotta play this game, and I gotta play it till it's done. That's my vow. Anyway, I figured I'd actually swing back on over to this gallery thingy that I have access to, because I kind of wanted to take a look at, as weird as this is, Junko's shoes. Because remember how they were like heeled? They were like heely-deelied, and they had like the thing right there. Those look like the exact same shoes, do they not? Of our mystery corpse. I'm just saying. I think my theory about somebody just scrounging up a prior corpse and then making it explode was ultimately the correct belief. Go figure. Either way. I suppose we'll find out if I'm correct. At some point. Give it some time. But look at that. I mean, sure, it's a little charred up in there, but those are definitely the same shoes. Blondish, fake nails, bada bing, bada boom. Thank you and good night. Let's solve some crimes or whatever. First and foremost, time to look at this knife that's going to make everyone think I did this. There's a knife lying on the ground. Is this the exact same knife? Yes, it is. It must be the knife that was stuck in the body before it exploded. The force of the explosion must have thrown it over here. I'm not sure if an explosion would do that, but okay. The Monokuma file said the knife went all the way through the body from the front to the back. Does that mean that the knife is what caused the fatal injury? Well, if not, that bomb certainly did. Either way, this knife, it looks really familiar. Wait, is this the very same knife that I was in possession of? Yes, indeedy. What I find concerning is the fact that this El Luchadore right here ain't got no fake nails, and on top of that is wearing the coat the right way, which makes me think that El Luchadore really didn't actually die. They just grabbed a corpse and decided to use that. So that's probably the mastermind right there, most definitely, I'm gonna say. This is getting really weird. There are just too many strange coincidences. If by coincidence you mean not. Whoever that person in the mask was that attacked me last night, they were holding that knife. And now it's inside them and they're all dead and whatnot. At least not, my theory proves otherwise. And that same knife was used to stab that same masked attacker we found here. Interesting. So maybe this masked person got stabbed because... Wow, we're gonna just keep flashing back to this over and over again. When they attacked, I was in a kind of trance. Maybe I reacted by grabbing the knife and maybe then I killed them? I don't think so, no. And if this really is Kyoko, which I can't believe anybody would still think that, it would mean Kyoko's the one that attacked me. But why the mask? I just don't know. I don't remember anything clearly from last night. No, it can't be. There's no way. Nope, definitely not. Your intuition is, in fact, completely correct. Also, chunklets of what might be some sort of thing. These look like fragments of something. They're all burnt, so I can't really be sure, but I feel like I've seen something like it before. But where? Wait, was it there? I'll have to double check that later. I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. I wish you'd tell me where there is. Okay, alright. Let's take another looky-loo right up in here. If I check the body more thoroughly, maybe then I'll find out for sure if it's Kyoko or not. Alright, fine, sure. First and foremost, fake nails. That pretty much right out the gate go. Kyoko wears gloves. So, I mean, there's that. Also, those aren't Kyoko shoes. Those are dang Junko shoes. Although I have to admit to being confused by this. There's something weird about the body's fingernails. Oh, they're fake nails. They're really long. They seem like they get in the way of normal activity. Like glove wearing! I'm just saying, man. The fact that anybody would think this is Kyoko is pretty mad stupid. Also, what's that on the wrist? Or what's the opposite of a palm? I don't know. What's up with that? There's also something on the back of a right hand. Is this a tattoo? It got burned, so I can't make out the whole thing, but it looks like some kind of dog. Maybe generally a wolf, but wolves, dogs, all the same thing. Something. I've never seen anything like it before. Alright, interesting. Anything else? Anything else I'm supposed to be looking at? Okay, apparently 3 different chunklets. Gotcha. The upper half of the body got set on fire in the explosion, so it's totally blackened. Also, the top half of the body is wet. Mostly due to the kersploosh that I done kersplashed. That's because it got set on fire, and I threw water on it. Since I only threw water on the part that was on fire, the top half, the bottom half is still dry. In other words, there's nothing strange about the top half being wet. There isn't, right? Why would that be weird? Okay, I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. The white jacket the victim was wearing got totally burnt up. You know, there's only one little piece left. Okay, apparently inconsequential. The lower half of the body didn't get wet at all. Apparently the wetness of this corpse is evidently, it's some sort of massively important factor. So I'm gonna have to remember that. After the body blew up, the top half got set on fire, so I dumped water on it, which explains why the bottom half isn't wet. There's nothing strange about that, right? I don't know. I wouldn't ordinarily think that there wouldn't be, but you keep bringing it up, which makes me think perhaps that there is. Either way, I guess I should probably start talking to some folks. Listen, Makoto, do you remember how the body looked, you know, before it blew up? If I remember correctly, it looked a lot like this. Convenient! It was wearing some kind of mask and a big white coat. Also, there was a knife sticking out of the stomach, and the area around it was stained with blood, and the coat was on backwards, and look, it even has the red lace. Yep, those are Junko shoes. That's Junko hand, that's Junko shoes, that's a Junko corpse that somebody pulled out of cold storage. I guess the mastermind probably did. I can only assume they would be the only ones with access to prior human bodies, I guess. And then, in order to make this whole thing look confusing to everybody and let there be doubt, they put the mask on, and they're like, oh dang, well they'll just take the mask off, won't they? No, they won't, because I'll blow it up. And then it'll get all burnt and disfigured, and they won't be able to figure it out, even though it's still really obvious. Either way, apparently the wound had stopped bleeding, but the blood on the body was still wet. Yakuya said not to touch it to avoid getting all bloody, but for how much blood there was on the body, I didn't see any on the ground around it.
Okay.
Wow, thanks. That was a big help. Now that you explained it, I totally remember how it looked. Well, having to talk about it like that helped me remember it a lot better, too. So thank you, too. Ah, friendship is the best ship to ever be on. We shall take it and sail the Caribbean, or whatever. What about you, nerdlinger? Who does the body belong to? Junko. 9.5% confident on that one. I'm not entirely sure if there's a specific reason for the selection of corpse. Because that's kind of weird, because wasn't she the one who died first? No, she died second. First would have been Sayaka. Interesting. I don't know if there's a particular reason they chose that one, but there it is, I guess. Whoever it is, I'm not gonna look. I don't want to faint anymore, and I don't want to talk to you. Yo, Afro McJenkins, what be the haps? It's 11 o'clock right now. Okay, and? Oh, well, I was just thinking about when we first found the body. When the body was found, huh? I should look back at what I did this morning to help me remember when that was. Monokuma's announcement woke me up at 7 o'clock as usual, and I headed for the dining hall pretty soon. Once I got there, I met up with Hina. That was right around 7:30. I guess it took me an entire half hour to get out of my room and into the dining hall. Little peculiar. Then I headed to the gym where everyone else was waiting. Next, Toko went to get the pickaxe, and that's when she found the body. What time was it then? I think she murmured about it being 9. What time is it? When we left the game, left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. That's right, it had to have been right around 9 o'clock, I guess.
You know?
And now that you mention it, I think you're right. So I think we can say for sure the body was found at 9 a.m. Okay, my job's done. That's a pretty small job. Alright. Well, I mean, he did something, which is more than he normally does. So, there you go. Good timing, Makoto. I wanted to talk to you. Of course you do. What do you want to talk about?
In other words,
Yep, figured this was going to be happening. Alibi!
in other words,
Correct. I'd love to hear where you were after nighttime began last night. Well, I was sick, so I was asleep all night. Why are you asking about that now? And what's nighttime got to do with it?
naturally.
Isn't it obvious? The murder took place after nighttime. How can you know that for sure? Because just after nighttime began, I came to the garden. Because, you know, why wouldn't I? I was going around looking for everyone so I could tell them about Monokuma. Hiro's been spending most of his time in the garden the last few days, so I figured he'd be here. And I can confirm that when I arrived last night, there was no body here.
In other words,
So the murder could only have taken place at some point during nighttime after I left the garden. That's deductive reasoning right there. However, Toko, Hiro, Hina, and I were in the gym together the entire last night, because sleep is for the weak. But once I found Hiro in the garden, we immediately went to Toko and Hina's rooms to get them. At that point, we all went to the gym and began dismantling Monokuma. As a precaution, we made sure not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. Gross. In other words, all 4 of us have airtight alibis. The only one who don't have alibis are me and Kyoko.
that's right.
And if the victim really is Kyoko, and it most definitely is not, then I'm the only one without an alibi. Also, when we went to go get Hina and Toko, we stopped by your room as well. But you never came to the door. So where precisely were you? I'm telling the truth. I was in my room, but I was dead asleep. I had a fever, so... That's hardly an alibi. I know. So what now? You seem to be at quite the disadvantage here. I'm the only one without an alibi. That's really bad, isn't it? I'm gonna go ahead and say probably. Alright. So that takes care of all that biggity business. I'm guessing I should probably check the shed. I should probably check all the things that are in this place. Let's see. This room is dusty and disorganized. In other words, a pretty stereotypical tool shed. Heyo! Found a thing, apparently. Is this a tarp? Wait, was there a tarp in here before? I should probably look into that. It could be related to the case. I guess. The top is wet and covered with mud and grime, but the underside, it's totally clean and completely dry. One side of that tarp is wet and dirty. Something about that bothers me. Okay. That's the one thing in here that concerns me. The cleanliness of the tarp. Alright. Okay, I guess that's his way of saying that's the only thing I care about in this place. Let's get out of here. Alright, so the shed was relevant again. Is the chicken coop relevant again? I remember there were some chickens in the chicken coop. And there's a missing chicken. I count 4 chickens. 4. Yasuhiro, you're weird at counting chickens for some reason. What's going on, Makoto? Oh, I'm glad you're here. Listen, do you remember how many chickens there were in here? Of course, there were precisely 5. Yeah, right? What's wrong? Well, there'll be only 4 chickens now. There's only 4 chickens here now. We're 1 short. Oh, now we got them freaking out. That's so weird. I wonder when it disappeared.
But
I was down here just before nighttime last night, and they were definitely 5 chickens then. What are we gonna do? Going from 5 to 4 is gonna have an impact on the structure of the world. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. If even a single piece disappears, the entire world will remain unfinished. I did my best to ignore Hiro and focus on the problem at hand. Why did one of the chickens disappear? Could it be related to the case? Well, I doubt we would have just gotten a truth bullet full of chicken if it were irrelevant. Okay. I supposedly have done everything. Is there still stuff? I don't think I've seen everything there is to see. Alright, fine. Then I guess we'll have to look at every dang thing. Monokuma flower. Does it really eat paper, plastic, and people? Anyway, I don't think it's related to the case, so I think I'll just stay away. Which is weird. You'd think that if it was a man-eating plant, that would have been the perfect place for a murder to take place. Just chuck a fool up in there. Man, what would happen if a body was never discovered because it got eaten by a plant? Let's see. Oh, right, this thingy. Is this relevant? Is everything relevant? This is the panel that controls the sprinklers. It's set to turn on 7:30 every morning, and Monokuma said that the time positively couldn't be changed. Hold on. So the sprinklers turn on at 7:30 each morning, right? Then if the body was here before then, the sprinklers should have gotten it wet, which would mean the murder must have taken place. Oh. Gotcha. I think I've checked everything I need to in this area, but I'm not done yet. There are other areas I need to check. Specifically, the fragment I found before. There's somewhere I need to go in order to confirm my suspicions. Okay, I haven't the slightest idea where, so that's gonna be a problem. And I still need to find out more about Kyoko. Is that corpse really Kyoko? No, it's definitely not. I don't know why people still think that. Granted, she's not here, and she's usually the one to check bodies and stuff, but come on. Man up and poke that corpse. Was that also Kyoko who attacked me last night? No. Funny how you forget how she showed up afterwards. And why would she show up in a costume and then take it off and then come back? That don't make no sense. If I could find out more about her, maybe I can answer that question. Kyoko was never the kind of person to talk about herself all that much, or about anything in general, really. Maybe if I can get into her room, I'll be able to find out more. But the key to her room belongs to this jerkwad. We don't need no flashbacks, I remember. I don't have a choice. Have to see if he'll let me borrow her room key. He won't! Hey, Byakuya, if you do come up with an alibi, I'd be happy to hear it later at the class trial. Oh no, it's not about that. You have the key to Kyoko's room, right? I was hoping I could borrow it. I'm afraid I can't take that risk. You're the prime suspect, after all. I mean, it's jerkish that you do this, but at the same time, this is like the one time, yeah, that's actually perfectly justifiable reasoning on your part.
What?
Of course, if I were to go with you, that would be a different story. Then will you go with me? Sorry, I have my own agenda to take care of. Find me again later and we'll see.
Bye.
Depending on my mood, I may go with you, or I may not. Come back later, huh? Okay, then in the meantime, I should go look around somewhere else. Maybe I should check out that one area. Okay. Fragments, a bunch of black chunks, and something that looks like part of a frame. Apparently it reminds him of something. Oh, okay, hang on. It might not be the case, but there's only one other area in this entire stinking school where anything of note actually happened recently, and that would be in the Geim. So to the Geim we go. Oh, I get it. Let me guess, is the bomb gonna be missing? The bomb? Yeah, it's gone. All right, that's what we needed to figure out. Monokuma's laying dust mantled on the floor. Well, one of him anyway. I figured it wouldn't be here. The bomb! Yep, there's the red chunklets. I get you. It's a big ol' honkin' bomb. Well, that explains the explosion, and that bomb went missing. There's no doubt about that. The fragments I found in the garden. Oh, and right, it was motion detecting bomb, pew-pew cannon, all that good stuff. Fragments near the dead body have been updated in the truth bullet section of your handbook. Alright, I've checked everything else I can think of. All that's left now is Kyoko's room. Should head back to the garden and ask Byakuya. Byakuya! Alright, fine. We really didn't spend a lot of time, doing other things. Is he really gonna be already, like, back? Oh, well, I'll be damned, he is. Alright, you gonna help? You think you can go soon, Byakuya?
Let's go.
You wanted to check out Kyoko's room, right? Very well, let's go. Holy crap, he's being complacent. Or compliant. Whatever. He walked off without a second glance, and off we went to the dorms. Time for some breaking and entering, y'all. Alright, so am I supposed to talk to you? Well then, here we go. Oh, there you go. He took out the key and slid it into the keyhole, and bada bing, bada boom, it's open. Let's invade some privacy all up in here. Beep, beep. Okay. Unlike the other rooms I've been in, this is just as boring as Makoto's was. Fascinating. Alright, what be ups?
What?
You wanted to come here, right? So what is it you're looking for? Nothing in particular, I just thought we might find some kind of clue here. A clue that might help us understand Kyoko.
Come on.
You can't be serious. That's why you made me take time out of my search to come here? Sorry. Regardless, if you plan on poking around at random, you're doomed no matter how much time you take. Surely you have something more concrete, something to give us some sort of direction here. More concrete. More balsa wood. Oh, I know. You do. Earlier, Kyoko gave me something. A thing!
It's true.
A symbol of my determination. Don't open it yet. Only open it if something ever happens to me. Oh. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. There it is. What's in the envelope? I don't know. Money? Drugs? Other bad stuff? Probably. We don't know Kyoko's life. Could be a severed finger for all I know. She said if something ever happened, I should open it. Well, something has certainly happened, so open it. Okie dokie. Open the envelope, look inside. Inside was a single piece of paper. Under the sheets. Huh. Did she find a typewriter or something? How did she get this printed in such a clear font?
What?
Unless that's just how amazing her handwriting is. That's all that was in there? Yeah, looks like it. Under the sheets. What could it be? Well, we're about to find out. Take this, privacy. Could something be under the bed sheets? Part of me didn't expect to find anything, but as I lifted up the sheets... Is it a severed finger? I found a crumpled up piece of paper. Oh, hey. Class number 78 student registry. Mukuro Ikusaba. It appears to be Mukuro Ikusaba's profile. Yeah, it looks like it. That's probably the other thing Kyoko stole when she snuck into the headmaster's room along with the key. Ah. There was a key and a blank. Gotcha. Otherwise known as paper. Okay, Kyoko said a death without meaning was unappealing, and this is what she left behind. I don't have time for your sentimental indulgences. Hurry up and finish your search. Okay. Made an effort to pull myself together, then looked down at the profile sheet. Information. Hey, Mukuro Ikusaba. She is a female. The ultimate soldier. I thought she was ultimate despair. Although small for her age, she was a military specialist trained in every weapon type imaginable. Interesting. She showed an interest in the military from childhood and soon found herself completely absorbed in it. That's not weird at all. In elementary school, she won a survival game tournament and began writing for military magazines. That's not weird. Just before entering middle school, while she and her family were on vacation in Europe, she disappeared. The story of a young Japanese girl being kidnapped quickly took over Japanese media outlets. An intense internal investigation turned up no information, and she was never found. However, she reappeared in Japan 3 years later, alone and completely unannounced. She revealed that she had joined a mercenary group known as Finr for those 3 years. She insisted that she hadn't been kidnapped, that she'd received battle training of her own volition. However, she never revealed why she decided to return home when she did. Well, that's a big old pile of suspicious nonsense right there. The Ultimate Soldier, a mercenary group. This doesn't feel real. The world I grew up in, it's like a completely different dimension. It's like one's non-fiction and the other is sci-fi. There's no way to even compare the two. That's how different this is. That's what that was how I saw things as just an ordinary person. But then,
I see.
I never imagined I would hear the name of Fenrir in a place like this. You recognize it?
Naturally.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps is a collection of battle-crazed warmongers. But they do have their uses, and they always get the job done. That's worth remembering. This is all part of a world totally removed from the one I live in. I have to say, I'm intrigued. Every rumor I've heard says that Fenrir is already... Oh, hello! I feel like our hero is becoming a bit player, and a bit player is becoming our hero. That's you! What have you got in your hand there, hey? Ah, you found her profile. What if I did? Chump! Don't freak out on me, I'm not gonna hold it against you or anything. And in case you're wondering, I don't hold it against Kyoko either, even though she stole it and hid it. After all, there's no rule against stealing, is there? Inexplicably, yeah. But who I can't forgive is Miss Ogami, who broke the rules and busted into the headmaster's room like a frickin' boss. Maybe I'll drag her corpse out here and okay, yep, gross.
What?
Are rule violations really so unforgivable? You're quite adamant about those regulations of yours. Of course I am. A proper school life is built on the dedication to organization and order, which is why even I, as a school headmaster, have to follow the regulations myself. Oh, so you're saying you have to follow your own rules as well?
Of course.
Absolutely. I can't have you complaining about how unfair it all is now, can I? So you're able to do anything you want as long as it doesn't contradict one of your rules. Hence the whole, suicide note switcheroo thing you pulled. Still really mad about that, by the way. Interesting. It's about the one writing all the rules. They're actually one of the participants in this killing game. I don't think I ever actually told you how many participants there actually were, did I? I was thinking I should probably clarify that.
Hey,
When you all first got together in the main hallway way back when, there were 15 people there, yes? And I think that first meeting may have led to a little misunderstanding among you all. A misunderstanding? Are you saying?
In other words.
That's right, there weren't actually 15 of you.
Yes,
The total
indeed.
number of students taking part of the killing game was actually 16, as we have previously established, yes. More flashbacks. Yes, I remember. Please, stop doing that. The 16th student, Mukuro Ikusaba. She's part of the school life, so the one making all the regulations is... Oh, angry face! Why? Eh? Did you say something? Why are you telling us this? Oh, well, because, like I told you, this killing game is desperately popular. You wouldn't believe the ratings. Well, yeah, it's on every channel, kind of. No competition at that rate. And since we've got so many viewers now, I wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page. I don't want to wake up to a hurricane of complaints and hate mail, you know?
Yes, indeed.
Makes sense.
Well, now.
Okay, that's all you get for now. Oh, actually, I do have some revenge to get, so I have an extra bonus for you. Revenge? I want to get back at that sneaky Miss Kirigiri, so I'm going to share a little secret with you. Seriously?
Hey.
You know how she wears those stupid gloves day in and day out all the time? Well, don't tell anyone I told you, but she wears them to cover a bunch of hideous scars that she doesn't want anyone to see. Okay, what? Okay, now that's all you get. Well, that was 9 different types of suspicious. That dumb bear never tells us anything, and now he's just unleashing a bunch of facts like they ain't no thing. Goku wears those gloves to cover up a bunch of scars. Wait, so on the back of her hand... Yeah, tattoos aren't scars. Wait, but no. Monokuma specifically said they were scars, right? And that's why Kyoko wears those gloves to hide the scars, which means that is most definitely not Kyoko. Those fake nails on the corpse. Are you thinking about Kyoko again? Eh?
What?
Forget about her. What matters right now is uncovering Monokuma's trap. His trap?
Such ignorance.
God must have really hated you to make you so dull. I don't know, God must have hated you really bad to make you so insufferably pompous. Don't you remember what Monokuma just told us? He said there were 16 students, right? Which means Mukuro was a student here.
Right.
Obviously, Monokuma was trying to tell us that Mukuro is the one creating the rules to the game. But why would he tell us that? And why now? He said he wanted to make things clear so there wouldn't be any complaints later. But the mere fact that he said that proves that Mukuro is connected to this case. That's why Monokuma revealed the existence of a 16th student. He needs to make our investigation fair. I see.
It's certainly
Perhaps she's the one who
possible.
killed Kyoko. Are you still going on about that, you dummy? What? That would explain why we would have to have a class trial, wouldn't it? If she's a student and she killed someone, that would make her part of the school killing gang. Mukuro is the killer? She killed Kyoko? No? Anyone should be able to come to that conclusion, don't you think? In fact, that's exactly what I thought when the investigation first began. Yeah, I'm sure that's totally how it works.
What?
But, based on what Monokuma just told us, I've changed my mind.
It's all clear.
Mukuro Ikasaba isn't the culprit? Eh? What makes you say that? We thought Mukuro the Ultimate Despair was the mastermind's true identity. But if that's true, Monokuma's behavior makes no sense. Why would the mastermind go out of their way to reveal themselves to us? That is a good point.
So in other words,
Mukuro giving us information that would raise questions about her would be bold, to say the least. So bold, you might call it stupid. Makes more sense, then, to assume that Mukuro isn't the culprit. So that's the trap. They want us to suspect Mukuro and come to the wrong conclusion. That's what makes sense to me. Or perhaps he said all that to make us think this instead of what we were thinking because we were doing the right thing, and he flip-flop, flippity-flopped it all over on us. He's casting suspicion on our suspicions. Either way, that's still not Kyoko. The way you said it definitely does seem possible, but if that's really true, if Mukuro isn't the killer, then who is? I do not know. Although what I do know is there's this big honkin' thing. Hello. There's something on the table. It's a woodblock decoration. Odd.
what?
What's that? What purpose does it serve? I think it's probably a key. The lockers at those really traditional public bathhouses use them for their lockers. Oi. Sorry, I keep getting pop-ups on my computer about, like, stuff. It doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway, bathhouses use them for their lockers. I wouldn't know. I've never gone to a public bathhouse. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
It's
But if it
certainly
is a key, I
possible.
think I might know what it unlocks. Really? What? Unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure I saw something in the dojo that this might go to. The dojo? Why you be going in the dojo? You trying to learn yourself some taekwondo? Well then, I believe our work here is finished. Let's move on. I'm sure there are other places in need of investigation. I should find out if that key and the dojo really are connected.
Let's go.
Well, are you coming? I guess. I appreciate you giving me access to immediate fast travel all over the dang place. Alright, and I get you. Number 6, it's the only one not open. There are wooden lockers here. Use woodblock, please, just like those super traditional public bathhouses. Looks like the key we found in Kyoko's room really does go to one of these lockers.
I see.
Do you see the locker farthest to the right? I thought it was like fartheast. That's the only one that doesn't have a key in it at the moment. You understand what that means, right? I should probably use the key we found on the locker.
That's right.
Well, just try it. Okay. Man, why you gotta be so bossy? I took out the woodblock key and inserted it into the locker's metal lock, and click. The locker eagerly accepted the key, and it opened. Gotta get all. Whoop! Heyo. There are arrows in here. It looks like 10 arrows in total. They look like they're made of titanium, which means they're quite strong despite how thin they are. Of course, without a bow, they're nothing but strong little sticks. Strong sticks! Hey, gads, what does it mean? Oh, there's something else inside the locker. Yeah, it's a wadded up ball of duct tape. I don't know what this was used for. Is that a bloodstain?
See.
If it is, that means it must surely be related to the case. The duct tape is related to the case somehow? But how could it possibly be involved? I don't know. Clearly, duct tape was involved when murder took place. I think that's all the locker has to offer for now. There's something wrong.
Very strange.
It's very odd, don't you think? The locker was hiding items that were clearly related to the case. But how did the key to the locker wind up in the victim's room?
Why?
Or perhaps... Yakuya? Forget it! Come on, we need to continue on to the next location! What next location?
What?
There's still something we need to look into. We need to do more research on Fenrir. Fenrir? You mean that mercenary group that Mukuro was a part of? But how are we supposed to find out about that? Isn't it obvious? Where in this school would you go to do research on something? Research? Something? Go to? Are you talking about the archive? That's right, the archive has all kinds of info that the general public doesn't have access to.
Let's go.
Mercenary corps groups probably fall under that category. And we only have so much time before the trial begins. Vamonos! All right, what you got there, Mr. Man? I believe there was a file related to Fenrir somewhere over here. Byakuya seemed to know that the archive like the back of his hand and went straight to a shelf in the back. Ah, there we go. He quickly returned with a file in hand. And I gotta point at him and say, yo, what be that file? Take a look at this. I have no idea what it says. What language is this? How did you make it all the way to high school without learning a single word of French? Hey, I know about the wee-wee and the baguettes and the bidets. I'm pretty sure most high schoolers can't speak French. Well, whatever. I'll read it for you, but I expect you to repay your debt 100 times over. 100 times? Isn't that kind of extreme? Perhaps. Fenrir is an elite fighting unit based out of the Middle East. Unlike military contractors, they are a fierce group of soldiers who engage in direct combat. They claim that a single member is equivalent to an entire company of regular soldiers. Just like Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. Oh my god. Did we just stumble upon the Strider organization? Their mere presence is enough to strike fear into any enemy. They have been involved in countless military battles and operations, most of which are highly classified. However, some time ago, they completely ceased all activity. At present, their continued existence cannot be confirmed. They are unconfirmed reports that the key members of the group are all neutralized. Rumors indicate they were killed to keep them from revealing the many state secrets they'd acquired. Interesting. Some, however, believe there was mounting internal tension within the group, and they simply imploded. Like in wrestling.
What?
What is it? This all just sounds like some kind of alternate reality. Well, it isn't. This is our reality. The only reality. These people are part of our world, so that means it's important. So deal. Their battlefields aren't much different from our lives here, in an unpredictable, imaginable world. That's true. That's what makes it all so exciting. Exciting definitely isn't the word I would use. So, did anything jump out at you? This may be your last opportunity to learn about Fenrir. Now that you mention it, the report said something about where the name Fenrir comes from, right? It said, I apologize for not knowing how to say that word. It is the Wolf of Ragnarok. Speaking of which, would you like to know something interesting relating to that? To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body. So they got a wolf tattoo, and that... Wait. What? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, wait. Okay, so... The corpse has the tattoo. But that has to be Junko's body, doesn't it? I guess unless... Mukuru also had the exact same shoes? Why would a soldier be wearing fake nails? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, granted, I guess the whole Junko corpse thing was kind of a fabrication made up by me. So I guess it's possible I just am wrong. So sure, though. They got a tattoo of Fenrir. Could that mean? Yeah, it means exactly what it means, and holy ding-dong, billy-bally boom-bang. Apparently, investigation time has ceased. Unfortunate.
Time is
Good for you. And the time has come. All we can do now is try to uncover the truth during the class trial.
Right.
It would seem that way. Let's go. Vamonos. Dun 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 dun. This door reminds me of the big doors you had to open in Mario 64 to go find Bowser. Oh, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. They were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? We're the ones that do that. No one cares. What, are you jealous? Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself? Lord knows she wouldn't be the only one.
What?
This game has an anime aesthetic to it, and that's all that people care about. They get weird with it. Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. Which means he's gonna wait for you to unprepare yourself. We stood there for 5 full minutes, waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma shown up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here, or... Oh, no, there we go. Told ya. He was waiting for you to start wondering. Jesus! Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait. You got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait.
In other words,
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here, now can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look very dramatically. Oh, hey, look at that. She's not dead. It's almost like that was obvious. I'm here, and no rule's been broken. Kyoko! You're still alive. No, that's a ghost. You're a stupid. You can't use my catchphrase that I use at you on him. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty, officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you. Through his underground tunneling system. When Monokuma's gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko! So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God. I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Eh. He's right. Now we gotta deal with a ghost. I told you, stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. No one cares. Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. We're always happy when trials are over. It's the nature of things, you see. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Kyoko, girl, what is the haps? Listen, before we get started, I have got to ask. Where have you been? I was worried sick. You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So,
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that. I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then when did you find out?
So-
Just now. I finished my search and came back down just in time to hear the class trial announcement. And it took some time to go over the crime scene first. Can't go into a trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However,
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes to?
wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words,
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Okay, that's something interesting.
just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma. Monokuma revenge. We can go all over the details once after we get through the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
it would seem
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? That's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
goodbye.
I don't know if that's all. I see what you're trying to do here, game. You're trying to make me get all suspicious on her, but I'm gonna say nay. Nay, nay, nay. She did not do a thing. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Yes, I'm saying that right here, right now. It's not like we spent literally the entire game up to this point trying to, like, establish this whole trust bond thing we've got going with each other here. Whatever it is she's doing, or whatever it is she did, we're just gonna have to, you know, roll with it. We're gonna have to let things be the way they be. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the doors slid shut. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again, as it does. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, well, that's just hyperbole. I'm sure it was definitely measurable. I mean, you could count the seconds since this animation clip started. Anyway, the doors opened. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. Was it the light of despair? Womp womp. Oh my god, that is gaudy! Ah! That's... dang! Holy crap, man. I haven't seen a place this gaudy since Wart's Palace in Mario 2. Dang! And that's not exactly an aesthetic you want to roll with. I'm waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got something together like this. That's spooky. Has the game been keeping track of how long between chapters it's been? For me. Not for you guys, but for me, because that would be weird. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed. Let's get on with the show! And so, it opened for the 5th time. Judgment, deception, betrayal. Riddle defense faith. Last trial. Let's do this thing.